Am I live? Hello, hello. Am I live? Can you hear me? Am I live? Let's see. Let's see what happens. It says live. How's everybody doing? Maybe I have to go live. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. I see 3 people. Can you guys hear me? I have no. Damn, I should have grabbed my phone. Oh, I got my phone right here. Let me check. Let me check. Yeah, it looks like I'm live. Oh, yeah, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Gee, Dude, Blu-ray Addict, Gene Wildecombe, Roy, Erica, how are you doing? Holly, Chris Snyder, Blu-ray Addict, Blade Brown. All right, Brian Sanchez. Yeah, nice seeing you guys in here. How's everybody doing? Yeah, just no reason. I just figured, it's been a while since I went live, so I figured, why not, chat it up with you guys, see how you guys are doing. Did I? I have no idea what I'm doing, by the way. I've forgotten everything. Rosemary, how you doing? Billy Zane, love your movies, man. Have you guys ever seen Dead Calm? Man, Dead Calm is amazing. Shelby Gregory, how are you doing? Yeah. Yeah, nothing planned, just out of the blue. I brought, not that I need them or anything, but I feel naked without my little headphones, but I didn't bring them with me. Damn it. Dave Vanderhoff, what's up, brother? Brooke, how you doing? Yeah, seeing a lot of people flowing in here. Nice, nice. Only got a moment, but wanted to ask what your favorite horror movie soundtrack is. I'm referring to compilation albums and not scores. Mine is Freddy versus Jason. Freddy versus Jason is definitely up there. I remember when that one first came out, I was listening to that one constantly. I would say probably Trick or Treat, Fastway. That's probably the one that I listen to the most. But there's so this isn't like a horror soundtrack, but I'll say, and you guys can answer too. But I remember when Daredevil sound came out. I used to listen to Daredevil soundtrack all the time. That one was a really good one too. God, there's been so many good soundtracks, and I know after the stream's over, I'm gonna be like, damn, I wish I would have got that one and that one and that one and that one. Let's see. I was actually going to talk to you guys about those VHS tapes. Yeah. Did you keep those VHS tapes? Yes, I do. I didn't bring them in the house though, because I don't know how, because I found them in the trash. So I don't know, but you know what? I have a picture of them. Let me see if I have let me see if I can share my screen and I'll show you a picture of them. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, this is it right here. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And maybe I need to make this. Yeah, you guys are going to want to see these. Okay, just hold on just a second. Just a second. Okay, so present, share screen. Share screen. Let's do it. There we go. Let's try that. Share. Now, can you guys see that? I think you guys can see that. Yeah. So I was at work this morning doing my rounds, and we have, like, I work in an apartment complex, right? And you like two big dumpster areas. Some of you might live in an apartment complex, you know what I'm talking about, okay? And so I do my rounds every morning because some assholes, they won't throw their garbage actually in the container. they'll leave it outside. And somebody left this. Can you guys see that? And man, I was just like, whoa. And I felt like I hit pay dirt. Hold on. And then I have to open up my so I can see because I'm blind. But yeah, we got Harry and the Hendersons, Waterworld, Platoon, Duran, Copland, Superman 2. That was the first one that caught my. I was like, holy Superman 2 on VHS. Do I have Superman? It's very possible. I haven't like looked back there to see so for like half the VHS. So I might have some of those might be duplicates, but the Burbs, Bound. That was I was like Bound on VHS. Holy shit. Judge Dredd, Stallone's Judge Dredd, Blazing Saddles, freaking Interview with the Vampire, Adventures in Babysitting, So I Married an Axe Murderer, Final Destination 2, and Death Sir. Guys, which of those, which one do you like the best? Okay. Which like if that box and you could only grab one VHS, which one would you grab? I need to know right now. Okay. I'll leave it up for a second so you guys look at it. Tell me which one would you grab? Okay. Let's see. We got Dark Man. Yeah, I saw a lot of people in the comments talking about Dark Man. And guys, I've never seen Dark Man. Isn't that crazy? Seen Dark Man. I need to see it. Maybe this is the chance. The Burbs, Bound. Bound was the one I was like, if I could only get one, I'd probably take Bound just because it's a cool movie. And you know, like that's probably a rare find on VHS, right? I don't know. I haven't looked them up on eBay to see what they're worth, but yeah. Guys, I've never seen the Burbs. I'm ashamed to admit it. I've never seen the Burbs. It's crazy. So yeah. Yeah, that was a good find. That was a good find. There's a few of those I haven't seen yet. What's up, Lance? How are you doing? Nice. I know. You're gonna kill me. There's, it's just like you can't see every freaking movie though, and I've watched movies constantly, but yeah, there's just some that I just, they pass you by and then you move on. Right? I know I need to watch the Burbs. I definitely need to watch the Burbs because I'm sure that's a guarantee. I'm sure I'm gonna love it. But hey guys, let me, I like giving you guys questions. Oh, let me hit stop sharing screen. Okay, hold on. Okay. Here's a question for you guys. What is a movie that someone has like almost begged you to watch? No, and they thought you're going to love this movie, and then you didn't like it. It didn't live up to the hype that they put on it. I need to know. You guys have at least one movie that it didn't live up to the hype. All right, and I can give you an answer. Napoleon Dynamite, and boy, that's a weird one. I did like Napoleon Dynamite because of how odd it was, and it was funny. It was really funny. That one for me did go up to the hype. Nighttime Says Pearl. I've seen quite a few people mention they weren't a big fan of Pearl, and that's those movies I can understand because it is unique, and there are some what some might call dry spots. For me, I was kind of chewing up every scene in that movie. I really liked Pearl, but it's one of those movies that I wouldn't be surprised if some people it didn't really grab them that much. Guys, I watched a classic today because I got my new 65-inch TV. I watched oh my God, Bill Ape, The Dark Knight. I do hear some people say they don't really care for The Dark Knight as much. It's one of my favorite movies. Oh my God. And I think it's tied to like a memory of when I saw it for the first time. And it's one of those, I don't know if I say few, but it's definitely one of those movies that it exceeded the hype. And the hype, if you remember, was just insane for The Dark Knight when it came out. And when I walked out of that theater, my heart was just going nuts. It was like, wow, movies can do that. It was just insane. Yeah, Zach, that's true. That OLED, it's definitely made me like come up here and look at my my horror collection. And I watched The Living Dead Part 2 the other day on it. Man, everything looks glorious on it. It's really nice. It's really nice. Blu-ray Addict says, I've been rewatching all the MonsterVerse films before I pick up Godzilla X Kong. I went through them too, Blu-ray Addict, right before I saw Godzilla X Kong. You know what? It made that experience even better. It made it even better. I loved it. Erica says The Dark Knight was one of the most memorable movie experiences for me. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good question too, guys. What's one of the most memorable movie experiences for you? Rosemary's Baby. Thanks, Mom. I love Rosemary's Baby. It's amazing. Let's see. I would say more recently, Late Night with the Devil. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of people said they didn't really care for Late Night with the Devil. And again, it's one of those. It's just it's like what you would call like a novelty type film, a gimmick type film. So yeah. What's up, Deadhead? How are you doing? Blade Browns. I fell asleep on The Dark Knight Rises. That's when I knew I tapped out of those movies. Man, Dark Knight Rises. It's a lot. You will be full after The Dark Knight Rises. We talked about this when I was on Pizel's stream last weekend. And I can't remember which movie I mentioned, but there was a movie I was like, you're going to be full at the end of that movie because it's a lot. And I can't watch The Dark Knight Rises like every day. It's a movie that, maybe once every couple of years, I'll feel like I need to throw in The Dark Knight Rises. But when I watch it, I'm usually glad I watched it. It is really good. Tara says Captain America, the Winter Soldier is one of my favorite movie experiences. Yes, that is another movie that really lived up to the hype. Holy shit, that was a great one. Really great. I think that's when Marvel was at their peak too, like that was the next level, right? When the Captain America Winter Soldier came out, everybody's like, oh damn, now they're changing gears. Now it's more like a freaking like a Bourne movie, which it's fun when you mix that type stuff. Do you remember early weekend? Oh, hold on. Damn it. Early weekend. Do remember early weekend lives? GT, I don't understand what you're asking me there. I am so sorry. Early weekend lives? Are you talking about like the live streams? Let me know. Sean Sheridan, what's up, brother? Channel member. Nice to see you. Dark Knight Rises I love, but it has a very sloppy script. Yeah. Rosemary says watching the original Strangers in theaters was a really memorable experience. Man, I'm trying to remember. Did I see the original Strangers in theaters? I don't want to lie. I can't remember if I saw it in theaters or not, but I do remember seeing it at home. And that movie's freaky. The first time you see The Strangers, it's pretty damn freaky. For me, the best movie experience, The Right Stuff, was 13 and sat through the entire movie. Bill A. Wow. He's digging way back, which is cool because you made me think of Superman 2. That was my very first theater experience. I was 6 years old. When did Superman 2 come out? Was it 81? Somewhere around there? But yeah, man, I think that's what cemented me as such a Superman fan. For sure. Lance says Furiosa was not bad. I love Furiosa. Furiosa's fun. Really great movie. My wife didn't care for it, but I think those Mad Max movies, they're for a certain breed, and I'm of that breed. I guess I love Mad Max movies, except for Beyond Thunderdome. Jeff Neal, what's up, man? He says not the best, but I remember Armageddon got a standing ovation in the theater. I like Armageddon. It is really fun, but I don't know if this is like a new thing or if it's been going on all along. And I do think it's like a territorial thing because I've lived all over the place. And I do notice some cities you get crickets in a theater and you don't get really claps at the end of a movie. And then some cities, I'd say Orlando is one of these where they love everything. Like every movie that go to the theater to, people want to clap at the end of, even if the movie's like shit. Not that Armageddon's shitty, but I've seen people clap at the end of a shitty movie. Okay, I'm gonna give an example. Some of you are gonna disagree with me. Okay, it's my opinion, so I'm gonna say it anyway. Okay, Five Nights at Freddy's. Even if I like that movie, did it really deserve a standing ovation? And everybody was clapping like they freaking like Christmas came early when I saw that movie in a packed theater. And it was like an advanced screening. And I think there's something to that too. I think when people go to a movie and it's given to them for free, via like advanced screenings, it's hard to make them mad. Whereas if you pay that freaking 15, $20, you better entertain me, motherfucker. And I think people are less likely to be happy and clap like seals. But when you go for free, oh my, you could show the worst piece of shit you could show Schindler's List. I'm not saying Schindler's List is a piece of shit. I'm just saying you could show a depressing movie and people will go, yay. You know why? Because I got it for free and it was awesome. So yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's it was mean. And maybe I should have taken my horror movie brain out of my head when I watched that movie, because every time they did a kill, you'd see the camera would go like this. Oh, can't show that, and then you see like a shadow on a wall, and some of the kills, behind were gnarly, like really, like that would have been a great kill if they showed it, but nope, we got to move the camera every time. So Super Tender, congratulations, member for 4 months. Thank you, good sir. Thank you. You rock. Was it a younger crowd for Five Nights at Freddy's? Yeah, I would say a lot of Five Nights fans were at that, to be fair. So you could have literally given them anything and slapped the title Five Nights at Freddy's on it, and they would have been happy. Okay. And I know I'm being really mean to Five Nights at Freddy's now, but I can do that. Okay. I can do that. What's up, Paige? How are you doing? Chris says Five Nights at Freddy's did nothing for me, but again, I'm not a fan of the franchise. Here, the fans were very happy with it, so good for them. You know what? And maybe Chris is on to something there. If you're like a diehard fan of something, like, you know what? You can use Chris as an example. When the Resident Evil remake came out, Chris, I know, is a really, really big fan of that franchise. And he had a really good time. And I couldn't be happier for him, And I think that's the thing with me is like, I've never played the games. The movies are pretty bad, with Mila Jovovich. I like a couple of them. The first one I really like. And I do have a soft spot for the third one just because of the setting. But when I saw the remake, I was kind of excited that we were going in a different direction and it was going to be more horror. But the remake just did nothing for me, And I think some people, if they're like me, I can say for myself, when I saw Halloween 2018, because I'm such a freaking Halloween nut, I was like jazzed about that movie. And I loved the hell out of it just because it was brand new and this is my Christmas present. But as time went on, 2018 didn't look so pretty. I still like it, but yeah. So, Chris, are you still like high on the moon for the Resident Evil remake? Have you watched it again since? Yeah. Fachi, what's up, brother? How you doing? Nice to see you. The Matrix Legacy, Mickey. The Matrix Legacy has been. Yeah, I'm an asshole. Hold on, let me do it. There we go. Shit, I haven't used StreamYard in a while, so forgive me. Mickey says the Matrix's legacy has been damaged by the dog shit sequels for the. Somebody said this recently too, and I agree. I completely agree. Who was it? Oh, it was Quentin Tarantino. Not recently, but Quentin Tarantino said the first Matrix movie was one of his top 20 movies of last, let's say, 30 years, something like that. He said those dog shit. He didn't say dog shit, but he said those sequels to those movies, they were so bad that it actually hurt the original movie. Have you guys ever had that? Because most they say the original is always there and I can always enjoy it. But have you guys ever had a franchise where a sequel was so freaking bad that it kind of like, almost not ruined, but it just tarnished the original? I would say The Descent Part 2. Oh boy, The Descent Part 2. It took The Descent down from an 8.6 to an 8.5 for me. That's what it did. I was really, really butthurt, upset for seeing The Descent Part 2. I was, what the hell? They pretty much were telling like a different version of the original movie because it was pretty much the same plot. It's just again, but it felt cheap. The whole thing felt cheap and artificial. Whereas in the first one, it felt genuine, The emotion felt genuine. Ooh, Holly Stills Have Eyes too. I actually had a decent time with part 2, but it definitely didn't compare to the first one. Now, are you talking about, Holly, are you talking about the original Hills House Part 2, which is really dog shit? Or are you talking about the new one, newer You know, is that one of the few? Is that one of the few sequels to a remake? Have you guys ever thought about that? There's rarely sequels to remakes. Why is that? Erica says, yeah, partly because they didn't even plan for sequels when they made the first. Then they thought, oh, we better just crap out um, a couple pretentious clusterfuck filled sequels. Yeah, money. That's it. It's the money, you know? I guess some movies, they just need sequels, right? They just need to leave it alone. Um, Big Rod says, if you could go back to watch any movie you missed in the theaters, past or present, yeah, what would you want to watch on its opening night? Mine would probably be Black Christmas. Ooh, I like that question. That's a cool question, actually. Go back to any time period. Watch. I've actually thought about this quite a few times. Like, man, I wish I could go back and see that movie on opening night. Black Christmas would be one. I would love to. And I think usually those movies that weren't like big hits at first, so you feel like you're one of the few. I think so. I think that'd be kind of cool. Black Christmas would definitely be one. Um, I've seen Halloween in the theater a couple times, on the re-releases. I'm trying to think what would The Exorcist would be a good answer. I would love to go back into that's the year I was born. Go back to the year I was born and first say hello to myself, my baby self, and then directly after go straight to the movie theater. Hell, I'd love to just go to a movie theater back in 1973 and see what they were like. I mean, I guess they were probably like the ones in the 80s when I would go, but like the drive-in. Have you guys? I've only been to a drive-in one time in my life. And it was in 1986, and I saw Psycho double feature, Psycho 3 and The Hills Have Eyes Part 2. There you go, Holly, bringing it back. I saw those, and my sister was on a date, and I was like 13 years old at the time, and they threw me in the trunk of the car so they wouldn't have to pay for me when they went through. And then I got out, and then we got snacks and everything. And man, thinking back, I was a freaking young buck back then, because to watch two movies in a row, like these days, I don't like to watch like two movies in a row. I like to watch one movie, digest it, and then Plus, for me, movies, it's also a snack thing. Like, let me ask you guys this: is this snack just as important of a thing as the movie is? Like, if I go to a movie in the theater, if I don't have a snack, something's missing. Like literally, but yet seriously, like mentally, I got to have something to munch on and I'm so weird about it that sometimes I will purposefully not eat my snack until the movie starts. So I'll sit there and wait freaking 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Because I need to snack while I'm watching the movie. It's part of the experience. So that's why I couldn't do two movies in a row in a theater, because that second movie, I'm already full, so I'm not gonna have a snack, So yeah, it would mess me up. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see what Shelby's got to say here. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Hold on. Let me go back up here. Fachi, I love you. Hey, Antinous. Fachi, you sexy devil. Okay. Shelby says, I need a snack and a bubbly drink every time, no matter what. Yeah, you got to have it. You got to have it. Alicia, here we go. Alicia, this is Lee, my fiance, said most cinematic moment for him is Alicia, what are you asking me? What is my most cinematic moment? What I'm trying to understand the question though. Like, cinematic moment. Is that like, oh, that question is like baking my noodle. I'm trying to think, but nothing happens. Most cinematic moment. If I could form my own, like what that means in my own mind is like, what's a moment in your life that was like, it could happen in a movie, right? It could happen in a movie. And that might not even be what Alicia means, but I'm going to go with it. truffle shuffle us. I'm not truffle shuffling. You know what? Because in movies you got to wow the audience. So I would probably say, when we came second place in a talent show when I was deployed. No, it wasn't deployed. It was in Japan. Yeah, and I was in a band. The band was called Silence, and they probably wanted us to be silent, but we did a talent show and we came second place. And the reason it would be a static moment was because first place was a guy reading sex poetry. You can't make this up. So that would have been a funny movie, right? Like we got beat by some dude doing sex poetry. So there you go. That might not have been the question you asked, but there you got. Okay. Sacred Straight Productions or Scared Straight Productions. I like that question though, Alicia. Alien Romulus looks awesome. Giving Aliens a first try here soon. Holy shit. Damn. I guess there's a first time for everything though, right? And I'm jealous. That's another one that I would love to go back to the theater and see opening night. Oh my God. And you know what? I don't know how you're going to do it, but let us all know what you thought of it, Scared Straight Productions, after you watch it. I'm curious, okay? Alien is one of the greatest freaking horror movies ever made. It is. It's really great. Yes, Blu-ray Addict. Alien Romulus looks very good. Very good. It's already exceeding my expectations. Got to see Boys in the Hood in the theater. I wish I could go back and remember that experience. I've never seen Boys in the Hood. I need to see that one. Did you guys ever see here's a deep cut. Have you guys ever seen like Higher Learning? Star-studded cast too. Higher Learning came out in the, I think, mid to late 90s. And it was like a heavy, I think John Singleton directed it. And it was a heavy, it dealt with heavy subjects, but really, really good movie. And Jennifer Connelly was in it. God, I'm trying to think. Who was the main character of that movie? Higher Learning. Let me look it up. Hold on just a sec. Higher Learning. Have any of you seen Higher Learning? And I'll give you another one too, another deep cut. Not necessarily horror, but I got two in mind right now. So let's go with Higher Learning first. And I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to pull up Higher Learning. Hold on. Where's it go? Here we go. Yeah. 1995. Let me share my screen. Present, share screen. Yeah, there you go. That's a high recommendation. Okay. Brooke's seen it. Yeah, I bet there's quite a few of you have not seen this movie, and I'm giving you a guarantee. Okay. It's really, really good. And you remember back in the 90s, they had a lot of young actors, and there was be an ensemble of them, like so many of them, and you recognized at least like 5 of their names, like you'd get freaking like Brad Pitt and Christian Slater, River Phoenix. I'm not saying there were, but yeah, you'd get kinds of big, like a lot of big names back then that were young. Whereas these days, you don't really know all the actors that come out these days. You might recognize the faces, but the names don't really stick out like they did back then. Yeah, Blade Brown, Ice Cube, Omar Epps, Tyra Banks, and Chrissy Swanson. Yeah, and then you had freaking Jennifer Connelly. You had Michael Rappaport in there. It was an ensemble cast. You had freaking, I believe, Lawrence Fishburne is in there. Great freaking movie. Busta Rhymes is in there. Busta Rhymes. Yeah. Excellent movie. I'm going to give you, all right, here's one more for you, okay? Here's another great freaking for you, all right? I like giving you guys, I want you to see Higher Learning if you haven't seen it, okay? I might have it on VHS, actually. Here's another one for you. Yeah, here we go. Oh my God, this is one of the biggest recommendations I could ever give you. Has anybody seen Go? 1999 This movie should have been massive, just because how great it was. It's kind of in the tone of like Pulp Fiction, because you had three different stories that kind of intertwined along the way. Oh my God. Guys, do you want to set her straight or should I? Okay. How many times have I talked about 3 O'Clock High? How many? Oh my God. 3 O'Clock High is probably the number one deep cut that I don't ask people to watch. I beg people to watch. That movie is so freaking good. Welcome, Britt. Happy to have you here. Happy to have you. And boy, you came singing with 3 O'Clock High. Literally 3 O'Clock High, one of my all-time favorite movies. 3 O'Clock High is right up there with freaking Teen Wolf and just one of the guys. And pick your 80s comedy that is just so infectious. That's 3 O'Clock High. And I believe the reason it wasn't a big hit is because the main star, Casey Zemeckis. But Casey, I can't see anybody else play that part. He was so good in it. Lucas, movies like that, it's so freaking underrated. 3 O'Clock High is a blessing, and it has the greatest like 80s villain that I have ever seen in my life with Buddy Revell. You can't beat Buddy Revell. He is Richard Tyson, the way he played Buddy Revell. Like you take an actor in a role, right? And there's been so many great performances, but man, talk about an actor born to play a role and really just becoming that person. Like you forget that he's acting. He is Buddy Revell. And I know it's a silly thing to say in a little 80s comedy, but it's so good, guys. So freaking good. And Go is amazing. You guys have to see Go. How many of you, anybody in the chat that has seen Go? Have any of you seen Go? Okay. I'm testing you right now. All right. Christian Hanna, he does all those those movie shorts every day, but I haven't seen one for Go yet. Okay. I haven't seen one for Go. And this is a fun movie. And Timothy Olyphant steals the freaking show. Ladies, Timothy Olyphant. Okay. That's all I need to say to you right now. Timothy Olyphant is so good in this. This is like, I think this was before he did Scream 2, or it might have been right after. But I mean, he plays this drug dealer. He's always got his shirt off. So there you go, ladies. And he plays it very well. He comes off as kind of dangerous, but also very charming. And man, he is great. Oh, here we go. Jay's got one. See, you guys are on my page. There you go. And let me close this one. Yeah. Last American Version. Oh my God. Here we go. I knew streaming tonight was a good idea. Okay. I knew streaming tonight was a good idea. Last American Version. I just got the freaking the Blu-ray. I don't even know which company did this one. I think it says MGM. So I thought this was one of those, those boutique type companies that have been all the rage lately with these deep cut titles. But man, the guys, tell me what you've seen. Last American Version. What is the more popular comedy that would make a perfect double feature with it? I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not going to waste your time. The answer: Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You watch this movie and Fast Times at Ridgemont High together, it's like the perfect double feature because they both are funny, but they also have some kind of serious moments, serious overtones, and both movies do both. Yeah, I think both movies deal with abortion too. So yeah, both movies deal with abortion. But man, this is a classic freaking Diane Franklin. Remember her from Better Off Dead? Another freaking classic. Yeah. You can't get enough of this movie. Last American, I've seen it so many times. It's a Canon film, guys. It's Canon. Okay, what do you expect? Canon Films is if I could keep one studio, if I had to throw away every other studio on this planet, and here's a question for you guys too. You can only keep one studio in all of their movies. What studio would you keep? Mine would be Canon Films. Mine would be Canon Films. No, it's an easy answer. It's an easy answer. Just give me my Canon Films. I'm good. Okay. And yeah, I know I'm missing out on a lot of movies, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Shelby, you got that right. Better Off Dead. That might be the comedy that I've seen the most. I've seen Better Off Dead at least 80 times. Okay, 80 times. He likes corn, French fries, French bread, French dressing. Language lessons. I mean, you mind if I take out Beth? I mean, just there's so many free, like that's one of the most quotable. Damn, it's a real damn shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that. I mean, they're just, I could just keep going. There's so many of them. You even got the guy doing the Howard Cosell impersonation. Lane Meyer, a man on a mission. Yeah. Oh my God. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Lee, your favorite three movies from the 1990s. I got True Romance, Pump Up the Volume, and Dark City. True Romance is definitely there. I do love those other two movies, by the way. Dark City and Pump Up the Volume, excellent. After True Romance, 90s, I got to go The Crow. And let me see, I got to make it count. Got to make it count. God, do I want to go? Do I dare do two Quentin Tarantino movies? Because it might be Jackie Brown. I don't, man, that's a tough one though, because I feel like I want to make it count. 90s really had some great freaking movie. I'll give you a deep cut from the 90s. Have you guys ever seen this movie? Oh, let me pull it up again. I want to educate you guys, all right? I want to give you some suggestions, all right? I want you guys to like say, "Oh my God, I want to make you a favorite movie." Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hold on. There you go. California. California. Who here has seen California with Brad Pitt and Juliette Lewis? All right. David Duchovny. Brad Pitt it plays a freaking serial killer. That's right. Brad Pitt plays a serial killer in this movie, and it is so freaking good. So freaking good. And nobody ever talks about it. Nobody ever talks about it. Oh my God. Brad Pitt gives one of the best performances of his entire career in California. If you just listen to the movie, you won't hear Brad Pitt. You'll hear a completely different person. His name's Early. Stinking bitch. Oh my God. Chris Snyder, man. I just did you a favor, dude. Watch California. Put your titty back in your shirt. You can't. It's one of the most underrated movies ever. 90s were full. I think there were just too many of these great movies, and a lot of them just got buried. A lot of them got buried, because you had freaking Seven and Silence of the Lambs, and there was just like a renaissance of all these heavy, almost dark comedy type movies with young casts. And Brad Pitt was in his 20s, I think, during this time, or maybe 30s, early 30s. But yeah, just hot young cast. I mean, there's so many great young actors in the 90s. And unfortunately, those days seem to be gone. They seem gone. Yes, they did. Yes, they did date Juliette Lewis and Brad Pitt. They dated for a little there. But yeah, man, great stuff. Yeah, I love nostalgia. I definitely love nostalgia, Tara. Big, I always think back to the freaking 90s, and that's why I got my freaking VHS collection back there, and Jolene over there. I love. Sometimes I'll just come up here, and I'll just throw in a VHS, and watch it like Eddie and the Cruisers. I'll throw in Eddie and the Cruisers and watch it right there on the Jolene. Takes me back. Takes me back. All right. I didn't plan on talking about this stuff, but here we are. Yeah, 94 is definitely a standout year. So many good 94, man. You freaking had like the summer kicked off with like Speed. And when Speed came out, before it came out, nobody expected much from it. And Keanu, he did Point Break, but he wasn't at the level yet, you know? Point Break was kind of a mild hit, and because of Patrick Swayze. But here comes Speed and Keanu Reeves at the perfect time, and it was just this adrenaline jolt that the box office needed, and it was just this massive hit that nobody expected, you know. And then they made Speed. What's faster than a bus? A boat. What out of all the ideas going around in that room, somebody said, let's put them on a boat. Yeah, I think they should have put them on a train, you know? It's kind of a one and done type idea, though, right? I don't know. Oh, yeah, True Lies, great one for sure. Oh my God, Milk Money. There now, are you serious? Milk Money, the movie with Melanie Griffith. Oh my, that's another one that nobody ever talks about. It's not like the greatest movie in the world, but I think it was decent. It was decent. But speaking of here you go. I'm going to give you another movie. I can guarantee. This is from the 80s. Okay, I'm going to give you a 10. I'm going to give you a movie that is a 10. And this movie was directed by Jonathan Demme, who directed Silence of the Lambs. Okay, came out before Silence of the Lambs. And it is it is one of the greatest movies that nobody ever talks about. Okay, you guys ready for this? You guys ready for this? Here we go. Boom. There you go. Something Wild. Something Wild from 1986. What's so unique about this movie is it starts out as one thing, and it's kind of lighthearted, but then it gets dangerous by like the last act of the movie. And Melanie Griffith is so intoxicating in this movie. You could go to jail for just talking about Milk Money. That's true. That is true. But yeah, oh my God. Something Wild is amazing. Amazing. And it's one that I caught on HBO back in the 80s. And as soon as I saw it, I thought everybody's has to have seen this, and it's got to be huge, right? And here we are. Nobody ever talks about Something Wild. And it's every bit as good as, True Romance. It's every bit as good as like some of the best movies out there. I think. I really do. I think Ray Liotta, one of his first, I don't know if it's his first movie, but it's the first movie I ever saw Ray Liotta in young. And he is downright terrifying. And you cannot take your eyes off of him. He's phenomenal in this. I'd say he's probably one of the most underrated villains I've ever seen ever to this day in that movie. He's scary. He's scary. But the premise of the movie is irresistible too, because Jeff Daniels is this kind of like straight laced, business suit type guy, and he runs into Melanie Griffith, who's just this wild child, and she tells call out sick, and he's married and everything, and he gets himself in just more and more trouble throughout the day, and you're like, oh my God, how is he going to get out of this one, and then he ends up meeting freaking Ray Liotta, and it's like this poor guy, he put himself in the situation, but wow, it just gets worse and worse for him. So yeah, that's another great one. Man, I'm having a blast with you guys. Do you remember Lawnmower Man? With Jeff Fahey, I don't know if I ever watched Lawnmower Man though. I do like Jeff Fahey in Psycho 3 though. Hey, watch the guitar. Yeah. Oh, who's that girl? the Madonna, and she made her voice very high and very like. I mean, she's from New York anyway, or somewhere in the Northeast. But yeah, Madonna, she had like a short run there of movies in the 80s. And I think she started getting really successful with, especially with Desperately Seeking Susan is really good movie. She's not the main character. No, Rosanna Arquette is the main character in that. But I think to me, as far as Madonna's best movie, I would say Desperately Seeking Susan for sure. Who's That Girl's fun though. It is fun. Let's see. At Close Range. That's the Sean Penn movie. I don't think did I ever see At Close Range? I don't think I did. Now, speaking of Sean Penn, have you guys ever seen Casualties of War? Like, that's probably like that's the war movie that nobody ever talks about, and it's directed by Brian De Palma. It's phenomenal movie. Yeah, Shanghai Surprise. I remember that one. And I would even say Casualties of War. It might be, and I'm not trying to be edgy or anything, but it's not my favorite war movie, but it's definitely top three. I think my favorite's probably Platoon, but Casualties of War is definitely like top three. Yeah, Michael J. Fox is excellent in Casualties, and it's a heavy movie, and it's got some tough. It's based on a true story, and it's got some really, really tough scenes in it. Some tough scenes, and Michael J. Fox is put in this situation. He's with a platoon. He's with this platoon of guys, and all of them are scumbags, and he doesn't want any part of it. But he's not the boss, so it's one of those situations where, like, what? How would I handle this situation? Let's see. Hold on. I saw a question. Okay. Where did you buy your bandaged Michael Myers mask from? Well, first off, the only mask in this entire room, if I look around, the only mask in this entire room that I've actually money for is my Curse of Michael Myers mask over there. Every other mask in here was given to me by fine people like you, pretty much, which blows my mind. Like literally every mask. And man, the guy was on Facebook. I haven't talked to him in you ever have like Facebook friends and then they just kind of drop off and then years and years go by. And I'm trying to remember his name. He sent me, very talented guy, and he made those and he would sell them on Facebook. And he made that Halloween 4 bandaged head and sent it to me. Really cool. But yeah. Dave Vanderhoff has sent me quite a few things in here. Carrie's Corner of Horror. She sent me that awesome custom Jason mask down there. Brandon Tabato sent me this Scream mask that he used in a fan film that he did. That's it's got like the I'll show it to you because it reminds me of the Scream 6 mask actually. Yeah, Brandon Tabato sent me that years and years before Scream 6 came out. And this was used in his fan film called Ghostface that I think that came out in 2018, 2017, something like that. But yeah, he sent me that. It's freaking badass. And that's the only Scream mask I have is his. So I got way too many Michael Myers masks though. So yeah. Let's see what else we got. Return to Oz. I never saw Return to Oz. I've seen the original so many, like the Wizard of Oz. I've seen that one like a million times growing up. The Wicked Witch scared me. Here we go. Hold on. Where were you a fan of National Lampoon movies and magazines? I never read the magazines, Chappie, what's up, man? Chappie, I was going to watch um Total Recall the remake because I just reviewed the original. And I was going to watch that. I'll probably watch it tomorrow. But I love Christmas Vacation. I love National Lampoon's Vacation. Those two. Um, I think those are the only two that I've. Oh, European Vacation is really good too. So yeah, I like. Yeah, I love that. I love Chevy Chase. I'm a huge Chevy Chase fan. Um, Julia Roberts became an Olympic swimmer to get away. Oh, hold on. To get away from the dude in, yes, Sleeping with Emmy. Classic movie. Loved it. Loved it. Really great. 90s James Spader. Oh my God. Yeah. James, like, if you were wanting to get the young douchebag guy role, you might as well hang it up because in the 90s and 80s, actually, James Spader, like, have you guys ever seen like Some Kind of Wonderful? That's one of like the 10 movies that he played that type character. And yeah, he just could play the dick better than anybody. Let's see. Hold on. Here we go. What are your hopes for the next Exorcist movie with Mike Flanagan now involved in the project? Take care. I'm excited. You know, the thing with The Exorcist is that first movie is so good, and the third, but it seems like we've been burned so many times. And Mike Flanagan, he's a great director, and I think he's probably the biggest hope that we have for finally another great Exorcist movie. I'll be there day one for sure. I'm really excited about Mike Flanagan, and I think his style really fits The Exorcist because if you remember the first movie and the third movie, they're both like really slow burns, but very effective. And even like the second one's a slow burn, but like nothing ever happens, or it feels nothing ever happens, and that's why the second one's it's just too weird, you know. Whereas the first one is just such an effective horror film, and the third one. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I think he'll do good. I still wonder why they never gave him a shot at Nightmare, even though he was trying. You know, he was trying to. I mean, Mike Flanagan would probably do a good job on A Nightmare on Elm Street. So, yeah. Uh, that's a good observation, Holly. Watch out for the guy that had a sweater wrapped around his neck in the '80s movies. Complete douches. They were. You know, my favorite. I'm trying to remember. Was it Rod, the guy in Better Off Dead that Beth started dating that she dumped Lane for? And he's like, that guy played him perfectly, and he's like playing the guitar for her, and it's like the worst song you can possibly imagine. I think his name was Rod. I think it was Rod, but yeah, he was really. Is he your mean wiener man? Wee. I'm entertaining myself. Sorry, guys. There we go. What about Showgirls of the '90s, Chappie? I know that. Look, guys. I know that there's a resurgence of fans for Showgirls. I know that it has its own cult following, and every now and then I'll be like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing, and I'll throw the movie on, and then I'll be laughing my ass off for the wrong reasons. Her performance, Elizabeth Berkley's performance in that movie is so unbearable and over the top that I can't not laugh at it. Like the scene where she's having, like, who eats a burger and fries like she eats a burger and fries in that movie? She's literally like taking her little tray with the burger and fries. She's like slams it on the table, and she's always pissed off. And we're not even 10 minutes into the movie yet. So she needs to, I think in the movie, she just needs to dial down the chip on her shoulder from like 14 to maybe like 7, you know, because boy, does she just have a chip on her shoulder throughout the whole. And I think, honestly, Showgirls itself, I mean, Paul Verhoeven directed the movie, and I love Paul Verhoeven, but I know this is a controversial statement. And maybe her performance is what makes the movie um, the cult classic that it is, because her performance is so over the top. But I think the movie itself is really interesting and good. And I think if they would have got a different actress to play her, I guess more straight ahead than completely over the top, maybe the movie, because I mean, again, Paul freaking Verhoeven directed the movie. He's one of my directors, but it's, to me, it's easily his worst movie. And I think sometimes you hire the wrong actor to do the role. That's my opinion. So it's always a tough movie for me to latch on to, because you can compare it to pretty much like Ronnie in freaking the beginning of Rob Zombie Halloween. What was I doing? I was doing something the other day, just chilling. And here's what it was. I got my new TV, and when you get a new TV, you want to browse around everything and see what's out there, and just to test it. And I saw Rob Zombie's Halloween popped up on one of the apps or something like that, and let's throw that on, Rob Zombie's Halloween. And right away, I mean, Ronnie is just like, bitch, I will crawl over there and skull fuck this shit out. And it's just going nuts. And it's not just him either. Everybody's screaming. You got the screaming baby at the table. And you have a headache by the, 10 minutes into the movie. 10 minutes into the movie. And what's the deal with everybody looking like they were in Emerson or the Allman Brothers? It's like I need everybody that looks like the Allman Brothers to be in this movie. I mean, Ronnie had freaking the long hair. Mike Myers had long hair. Loomis, the young Loomis in the movie, had long hair. Like, really, Rob Zombie? You got to give Loomis long hair? Everybody looks like they're a member of a motorcycle gang, and I don't know. Oh God. Sorry. Oh, okay. The pool scene, the pool scene in Showgirls. Again, I mean, she just goes nuts in that pool, right? God bless her. Okay. Better than Halloween Ends. That's it. That's what is the perfect ender to the stream. Showgirls is better than Halloween Ends. You know what? Let me ask you guys this. What did you think about Rowan Campbell's performance in because I know at least half of you didn't like Halloween Ends. I know. So I'm really curious about the ones that didn't like Halloween Ends. What did you think of Rowan Campbell's performance? Because I never hear, they talk about the character, and I know they don't like the character, but did you think his performance was over the top? I never really hear people say that. I never hear people say that he was annoying. They just didn't like what they did to Michael Myers, right? And so it's something that I never hear people say that hate the movie. And Antinous, though, answer the question though. I know you think it's awful, but that's not my question. My question is, and just be analytical about this, all right? What did you think of Rowan Campbell's performance, Corey? Like, did you think that we needed a different actor to play the role? Did you think that his performance was way over the top? Or did you think his performance for the role he was playing was pretty decent? Because I got to admit, taking my own personal love of the movie outside, I thought he did a damn good job in the movie, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, I agree, Tara. I don't think he was annoying and over the top. And I think he could have went that route with that type of role. He really could have, but he didn't. So, I got to give him credit for at least having that restraint, Let's see. Michael Myers grooming another serial killer was pretty darn good. I agree. I mean, I like that aspect of it. And I think it's all about what you want. And I said this earlier too. I think if you go into Halloween Ends and knowing that Michael Myers he's done, he's defeated. If you go into it knowing, with that mindset, maybe because I've always been excited about copycat killer movies anyway. I think they're fun because they shake the franchise up. Sometimes those copycat killer movies come along at the perfect time in the franchise because, like, say, Roy in part 5, when he came along, it was after they had already killed Jason. So it was, if you can kind of compare the final chapter to Halloween Kills as far as the battle damage that those two killers took, it sort of makes sense to go what's the next step you do? Do you go even more over the top with Michael Myers? Do you go even more over the top with Jason Voorhees? Or do you let's take a breather for a sec. Okay, the shit that he went through in the last movie, and I'd say both those villains, I think they took almost an equal amount of battle damage in Kills and in the final chapter. Okay, I really think that. So I think it was a smart move to maybe pump the brakes a little bit in the next movie and kind of reset. Now, to be fair, though, I think Halloween Ends being the third in a trilogy, I think that's where they got into trouble. I think if they never laid this out as a trilogy, if they would have kind of kept that close to the vest and said, this isn't a trilogy, we're just moving forward. I think if they did that, maybe people would have accepted Halloween Ends a little bit more, a little bit easier. But because it was, okay, this is it. This is the little final movie. It didn't give you what you really wanted, I think it's part of the pain that people felt for Halloween Ends. But me, I actually love copycat movies. I love them. I think it just shakes things up. And I think a lot of us knew we were getting a copycat killer movie when we went into Halloween Ends. Would you guys agree with that? Did all of you pretty much know, or did any of you think that Myers was going to be the upfront main killer guy? Were you really that shocked that it was a copycat killer movie? Because I think the way they promoted the movie, if you poked your head in the internet for a little bit, you'd figure it out that it was going to be a copycat killer movie. So I don't know. It's weird. Now, this I can agree with. That I can agree with. And I'll even say this. The first time I saw that movie in the theater, when Laurie and Michael are going at it, I wanted him to win. I wanted him to kill her dead. Like I never wanted anything more than that. I wanted him to kill her so bad. And that moment where because I knew it was going to happen. As the fight was going on, I was like, let's just get it over with. She's going to win. And she freaking cuts his wrists and everything. But when he reached up and grabbed her neck in that one moment, I was like, but they don't have the balls. There's no way they just don't have balls to do this. But wouldn't that have been the most amazing thing if he would have reached up, grabbed her neck, and then squeezed it so tight and just ripped her head off and then threw it in the microwave or something like that? Wouldn't that have been the greatest freaking? And then he gets up off the island in the kitchen and does a mic drop and farts and then walks off. Why does he have to fart? I don't know. Oh my God. What am I saying? That's why I don't do live streams that much anymore. I end up saying really stupid. Only 10 minutes to tell the climax to Laurie and Michael. That is hot relish. Yeah. Here we go. Rob's got a question. All right. Besides the Myers house, what do you feel is the next best movie location in any Halloween movie? Well, I'll say this. I've always wanted to go to Salt Lake City, Utah. Just because farts directly on her head. Sorry, Aaron click. I've always wanted to go to Salt Lake City, and because I do love the filming locations of 4, 5, and 6. I guess, and I did visit the Myers house and the Bush, and the hardware store back in 2009. It's really cool, but I'm trying to think because I did get, and also Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I did go to Covington, Georgia. I was actually, it was for a job. They sent me to this training in Atlanta. Covington's I think 45 minutes away. And so I was there for a couple nights. Maybe it might've been a week. I can't remember, but I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm literally 45 minutes away from Covington, Georgia. I'm going to go visit the filming locations for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And you know what? That was such a freaking blast visiting the Sheriff Brackett's house and the downtown area, you know, where she goes and sees the book in the window. I visited that and it was so damn freaking cool. I had the time of my life. And I put it in, if you look at my Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 Revisited, you'll see that. I filmed a lot of stuff there for that video. Man, it was really cool. So places that I haven't visited though, I guess that's it. Salt Lake City, Utah. Anything to do with Thorn, I would love to visit. That'd be great. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Oh my god, here we go. Why do people hate on Rob Zombie films so much? I love them so much. I just think it's a different flavor, and I do love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. What he was going for with that one. I do think he dialed down the white trash element, and I think that's just the big thing. The first movie, it felt like Rob Zombie was kind of all over the place with the direction that he wanted to go because half the movie is like a remake of the original, and the first half of the movie is him trying to tell the young Michael Myers story. And I will admit, when I first heard that Rob Zombie was directing Halloween, I was over the moon because he had only done, I think, House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Reject. I love both those movies. So I was like, oh my god, this might be the jolt that the franchise needs, you know, because this was after Resurrection. Remember that, guys? So after Resurrection, I thought, that's it, done. It's over. You got nowhere to go. And remember, Resurrection came out before the remake craze. The remake craze started the year after. So after the remake craze started, I had a feeling they were going to remake Halloween. And when they announced Rob Zombie was doing Halloween, I got to admit, I was more over the moon than when I first heard about Halloween 2018. And then the movie came out. And I thought maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all. But not that I hate the first Rob Zombie's Halloween. I like how graphic and bloody, and I will admit, Michael was scary again. So Zombies Halloween did a few great things for the franchise. It gave the franchise the jolt that it needed. It made Myers scary again. It was bloody as hell. Every time they were about to approach a kill scene, I was the first time I saw the movie, I was a little scared, a little nervous, like, oh my god, what is he gonna do now? Because he's not holding back. So I do like the violence in Rob Zombie's Halloween. It's just the characters I can't stand. I think if they nailed down those characters, Rob Zombie's Halloween might have been one of the best Halloween movies. It really could have, if they would have. I don't think every character needed to look like the Allman Brothers. I think they should have played it like a straight-laced Halloween movie with Rob Zombie violence. I think if you married those things together, it could have been freaking amazing. Okay. Lee, who is a horror celebrity that you would really want to meet? I've gotten to meet a decent amount, but hoping that I can meet Robert Englund and even Ashley Lawrence from Hellraiser. Well, I will say I did meet Ashley Lawrence a few years ago. She was absolutely a sweetheart. And I got to talk to her for like 10 minutes. And I did tell her that she's always been like one of my favorite final girls. And I meant that. I've always loved Kirsty. And, I think she played that character to a fine line, I guess, Kirsty's a little different than everybody else. And she's going against arguably one of the most dangerous horror villains ever, and I thought she was believable. That's what I loved about Kirsty. So I did meet her. Now, who would I want to meet? I will say this, and I've been to a few horror conventions. I usually go to those deep cut celebrities, those are the ones that I get really excited about. Not that I don't love Robert Englund, but maybe it's because maybe the line's going to be too long. But even if the line wasn't long, yeah, of course I would love to meet Robert Englund. But it's just I tend to like the deeper cut celebrities more than like I made a beeline straight to freaking Tom Matthews. One year when I went, I was like, oh my god, Tom Matthews, I got to meet him, and he was so cool. He was so. Plus, if you meet a deeper cut celebrity, you're gonna get more time with them, because they usually don't have a long line, right? It's really nice. One that I always wanted to meet that I did get to meet recently was Nancy Keys Loomis, and she was a sweetheart. Um, and I asked her if she had heard that theory that Michael was actually after her instead of Lori because she's the one that Hey Jerk Speed kills and she pissed him off. And she said, "No, I never heard that." And she got a real kick out of it. So yeah, she was really cool. Um, I saw Linda Blair. Somebody met Linda Blair. I met Linda. As a matter of fact, the very first horror convention I went to, I met Linda Blair, and she was really nice. Really, I haven't had any bad experiences with horror celebrities, if I'm being honest. I think, and it wasn't a bad experience. I'd say the first time I met Danielle Harris was, I guess it wasn't what I expected it to be. There's one bad experience I can say, but I think I caught Danielle Harris on a bad day because the second time I met her, she was great. She was awesome. And I got to ask her questions, but the first time, and maybe she just could have been having a bad day. I don't know. I think I caught her on a bad day, but she wasn't like rude or anything. It just didn't live up to what I expected this experience to be, but the one I will say I have had one sort of a bad experience with, just in the way that he treated me, was Edward Furlong. I really wanted to meet Edward Furlong. I big T2 fan. Saw that movie in the theater opening night, and I thought he was a great John Connor. And that's what I said to him when I went up to him. I said, "You will always be my John Connor." And he would barely even look at me. As a matter of fact, there was another celebrity sitting next to him. Right after I said that, he goes like this. So anyway, and he starts talking to the guy next to him, and it was just so awkward. And so he made my experience like I wanted to get away from him, because I was like, wow. And I gave the guy money, so it was, if you're a freaking celebrity at a horror convention, put your own mood aside and be there for those fans. That's the best thing I can say. Be there for those fans. Okay. And every time I go to a horror convention, I do have people walk up to me, say, "Hey man, fan of the channel." And that is the greatest, coolest thing ever. And when they do that, like I literally had one guy walk up, he's like, "Hey, I don't want to bother you. I know I don't want to bother you." And I was like, "No, no, 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 no. You bother me as much as you want. First off, what's your name?" And I want to make sure I have a good conversation with anybody that walks up to me at a horror convention. I want to give them 150% of my time, and I want to make them feel comfortable. That's the first thing I want to do. I want to make them feel extremely comfortable that they can just talk to me like you guys are talking to me, and that's the lesson I learned from Edward Furlong. And again, I might have caught him on a bad day. I don't take this shit with me to heart, and I don't lose sleep at night over Edward Furlong, right? He's got a life, and I'm still a fan, and I could have caught him on a bad day, but I took a lesson from that. Okay. I'm always going to treat people with, for anybody that the time out of their day to watch my videos is the coolest thing in the world. And it's not something I ever expected. Seriously. When I started my channel, I never really expected anybody to take time out of their day to like watch one of my videos and then go to another video of mine. It's not something that registered with me when I first did. I wasn't prepared for it, but yeah. So yeah. Here we go. What's your opinion? What's your opinion on Kevin Spacey showing up at Mad Monster HorrorCon? What? Oh shit, man. I'll say this. I just watched that documentary on Kevin. No, different Kevin. I just watched that documentary on Kevin Spacey. Such a shame too, because Kevin Spacey, such a phenomenal actor. His performance in American Beauty is, he earned that Oscar. He is one of the most infectious characters in that movie, and I think a lot of people can relate to Lester Burnham, the character that he played in that movie. He played him so well. And when years ago, when I heard about the accusations, and it was disappointing, but I didn't know how bad it was until I saw the documentary and how many lives he affected. And after all that, I pretty much lost all respect for him. It was kind of disgusting. And if you watch that documentary, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's it's sad when people prey on others and they use their power, um, against others, which is what he did. He didn't even like use his power to try to get a relationship. He would literally almost try to force himself on people, you know, and accept them to um, just take it because of who he was. It's almost the worst example, or one of the worst examples of abusing your power over someone, you know? So, yeah, it's a shame, man. It's a shame because what a talented actor, you know? And there was a time when almost anything Kevin Spacey put out, after American Beauty, I wanted to watch because he was one of those actors. Have you guys ever seen Swimming with Sharks? That's a movie he did before American Beauty. And he plays this, a Hollywood producer type that's just very abusive, and he is pretty much that character. If you watch that documentary, that's how he treated people. And that movie is really interesting. And he nails that performance. And now I know why. He was playing himself pretty much. So yeah. I got this one about Tom Arnold. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see that at. Tom Arnold always intrigues me. Tom Arnold was at Fear Fest in Raleigh, North Carolina a few weeks ago. He was really cool and would talk with people, unlike some celebrities. Yeah, he's very eccentric, but he seems so down to earth. Like, guys, tell me what's a celebrity that you have met that you feel like you'd be okay if you like ran into them on the street, if you walked up to them, you feel like they would be kind, they would be nice. Tom Arnold is definitely a good answer for that. I feel like he would be really cool. Yeah, Victor Salva's another. Jesus, what a scumbag. Man, what a scumbag. Let's see. What's that question Alicia's asking me? Hold on. There we go. So there has been many Evil Deads. Which one does it for you? Um, I think Evil Dead is kind of like the Mad Max franchise for me, because none of the movies, or a lot of the movies, aren't really that connected. They're connected, but they're not that connected. And you could literally like throw on any movie without having to go in order. It's cool about the Evil Dead franchise. Um, and then in 2013 you got the remake, which feels like a completely different vibe than the first three movies. So sometimes that's a hard question to answer, and I think it's because it depends on the mood that you're in. If you're wanting more of a slapstick ash type mood, then you throw in Evil Dead 2, you know. And if you're wanting just straight up horror, then you watch these newer movies and the first Evil Dead. Um, I would, my knee jerk reaction would be to say the remake. The remake is really great, but I did have a really good time with Rise too. Actually, I had a great time with Rise, and I think I loved the whole parking structure, final act, and everything. One of the cool things about Evil Dead Rise too is I think it had. I guess it only had like two locations, right? You had the high rise building and then into the parking structure. So I guess it's the same as the remake. The remake, you're like, I guess in the remake, you're moving around a little bit more because you go to the bridge, you go back to the cabin, you're outside in the front, you know? So I guess it'd be kind of cool to have an Evil Dead movie that like, goes from different locations. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe like an Evil Dead on a train or something like that. I don't know. I hope that answers your question, Alicia. That's all over the place on that. What's up, Michael? Michael, how you doing? Holy shit, 95 people watching? Jesus. Thank you guys. Man. I cringed more than I thought I would through Evil Dead 2013. Blade Brown. Um, I'm trying to be fair here. I can't think of anything that was cringe in that movie. Um, I thought Jane Levy was phenomenal in the remake. I thought it was, very serious tone. I mean, I can think of a lot of movies that have cringe, but that's not one of them. That's just me though. Yeah. Let's see. This is my boomstick. Yeah, Ash is definitely one of the coolest freaking characters ever created. Oh, here we go. Blu-ray Addict. There you go. That's a good one. Are you looking forward to Beverly Hills Cop 4? It comes out July 3rd on Netflix. I did go through like an Axel Foley run recently, and I think it was because of that trailer. When I saw the trailer for Beverly Hills Cop 4, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. I got burned with Beverly Hills Cop 3. It's pretty bad. And but I do love Eddie Murphy. So, you know, and I guess I'm sidestepping here a little bit, but if I could have um one thing, it would be for Eddie Murphy to come back to stand up. Just do maybe a couple like big shows, big produced shows, maybe work the nightclubs to get his act together again. But man, Delirious and Raw are two of the best stand-up specials. And he had that rare ability to make a stand-up special watchable. Because most of the time when we watch a stand-up special, we watch it once and we move on, because we don't want to repeat the joke. But there was something about Eddie Murphy and how charismatic he was and his delivery that you just needed to watch it over. Like I watched Delirious and Raw like I would watch movies, just over and over and over and over again. They just were phenomenal. And very few comedians have that power. I mean, a lot of my younger viewers don't remember this, but Eddie Murphy in the 80s, stand-up wise, was like the Michael Jackson of comedy. Unstoppable. He was unstoppable. And then he just stopped doing stand-up comedy after Raw. I think it was. I'm done. He went out on a high note, and then he just stuck with movies. And maybe it's that he was scared that if he kept doing stand-up, he would put out a dud, and he didn't want to. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I remember having the cassette of Delirious when I was, back in the 80s and listening to it constantly. And there's not too many comedians that have that power to make you want to just constantly listen to them or watch them over and over again for the same special. It's like Netflix. Netflix has tons of comedy specials. I watch a lot of them. I only watch them once and never go back and watch them again. Another comedian that I did constantly listen to over and over, though, was Bill Hicks in the 90s. He died in like the mid 90s. Because he was really great at like social commentary. Like he would tell jokes that make you think, he had like an opinion about that, but not like today, right? Like today, everybody's either one side or the other. It wasn't that way with Bill Hicks. And to be fair, back then, there wasn't, even though you had Republican and Democrat, it wasn't like you'd see Republicans and Democrats being friends with each other back then. It wasn't people didn't take politics so seriously back then like they do now. Now, there are people that will wake up and they will turn on either Fox News or they will turn on, let's say, CNN, and they will watch that all day. I saw it myself when I worked at assisted living. I worked in assisted living for a couple of years, and those old people, they would literally every time they would be watching Fox News, nothing else, just Fox News all day, and they were listening to a talking head that they agree with back. Isn't that kind of boring though when you just like listen to somebody that you agree with constantly? It just Oh my God, here you go. Yeah, here's another one. Freaking Mitch Hedberg. Another comedian that I do listen to quite a bit. I haven't listened to him in a while, But man, he was hilarious. He just had a very unique delivery, you know? His jokes were, very short and quick. And hell, he didn't even really do like dirty humor, but he was just so he was. It was one of the happy accidents because when he started, he had like stage fright, and so he would like come with his back to the audience, and that nervousness added to his performance. And his jokes were good, or he was really, really funny. He would say, like, I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too. Just really quick little jokes, little anecdotes. And he always got a good laugh. And if he didn't get a laugh, he would play off of that with the audience. He would kind of make fun of himself to get the audience to come back to him. He was really great. He passed away too of I think a drug overdose. Dave Attell, yeah, I love Dave Attell. I don't think anybody can work an audience better than Dave Attell. Like he's a comedian's comedian, right? People love Dave Attell to death. Especially he just knows how to work a freaking crowd. And he's one of those guys that can go out cold and have no material and just get it from the crowd. He's a true pro. I remember when like Sam Kinison and Andrew Dice Clay, they both came on the scene around the same time in like the mid 80s on the Rodney Dangerfield thing. And man, two completely different styles. And they struck a nerve. Both of them struck a nerve. And they couldn't be more different. And Sam Kinison, because he was talking about real life stuff and how he was like, about women and just dating in general. And he would just start screaming. And the way that it started was he had like a fight with his wife or his girlfriend or something like that. And he had to do a show right after. And he was so angry that he let it out on stage and it became and everybody just roared. And he was fearless. And then you got freaking Dice Clay doing like nursery rhymes and stuff like that. And but they were just really, really funny, really, really funny. Fuck Carrot Top. But I'll tell you, look it up on YouTube though. Andrew Dice Clay has special called "The Day the Laughter Died," and it's one of those specials that comedians they cite it constantly because he literally went in cold and recorded like an album. And it's almost painful to listen to, but completely intoxicating because he's just working his way through this show and he really has no material. And the audience, they're like asking him to do like, the hits, the nursery rhymes and all that stuff. And he won't do it. And it's one of those specials, like it's a train wreck, but you can't turn it off. Right. And I think if you start listening to it, you'll know what I mean. The Day the Laughter Died. If you ever get a chance, if you're bored, if you're on a long ride or something like that, just throw that on. It's great. So, yeah. Damn, man, I'm having fun with you guys. Shit. How long have we been going now? What, hour and a half? Jesus. It flies. Every time it flies. Now, I haven't streamed probably in like a month and a half. I think the last time I streamed, just to be real with you guys, the last time I streamed, I did talk a little bit about anxiety. And I think I do get that from time to time. And I'm not going to like go into a whole spiel about anxiety again, but just trying to give you a reason. And I guess be accountable. Sometimes I don't want to do this. Not YouTube, even though sometimes I need to take a break from YouTube too, but sometimes I can get in my own head. You know what I mean? Sometimes I do that. I get in my own head and I'll be like, I think it's a situation where I make myself, if that makes sense. I need to stream either Sunday or Friday. And I think because I kept doing that weekly, I started like burning out and and I get in my own head and I don't want to disappoint anybody. Do you guys ever do that? You feel like you're gonna screw. You feel like you're gonna disappoint people. And I think that was just fucking me up for a while. So I think I made myself take a step back, and I was just um, like, what am I doing? I just kept saying to myself, like, what am I doing? You know? And I don't know. It was just a big head trip. So I decided, and that's why you started seeing, like, on the second channel, you didn't see any clips because I wasn't live streaming anymore. And I think that was part of the problem too, is I put these expectations on myself because most of my content from the second channel was clips. And so then I started feeling like I have to do this. And if I don't do this, then I don't have content for the second channel. You know what I mean? So then it becomes like a circle, like a vicious circle. And so when I stopped streaming like a month and a half ago, I was like, well, maybe I'll just try this. And I did like produced content on the second channel. I could still talk about topics. I could still talk about news and stuff like that, like updates, which I did. And so, like, I think the last like 10 videos have not been clips. And I think what we're doing right now, I love, because there's no expectations from it. I don't have to come up with like an agenda. I don't have to burn myself with cutting this up into clips. I don't have to. You almost kind of feel like you're not being fake, but you're forcing a topic just so you can get a 10-minute video out of it. You know what? I'm really thinking about it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to force things. You know what I mean? I'd rather just go with the flow. Not that I won't plan shows around horror news and stuff. Like, yeah, of course, if there's like big horror news, I'm going to talk about it with you guys. But I don't want to. I don't want to have this expectation in my head that I got to make some kind of clip out of it. If I want to put a video out about it, I'll just do that. I'll just do like a produced video, and I'll leave the live streams. That's just how I'm feeling right now. I mean, that doesn't mean I won't ever clip it out again. I might, but I'd rather it be natural. I guess that's the point I'm getting at. I don't want anything to feel forced. If a topic comes up naturally that one of you guys might ask or something like that, then that's how I'll do it. That's how I'll do it. If I feel the need to put a clip up, because you guys don't care, you guys don't expect that from me, So I guess and I'm trying to get the anxiety out of my head, and just like, and I love being completely honest with you guys. I didn't even want to do this tonight. I had to talk myself into doing this. I was so deathly afraid and scared of anxiety. And, you start, I'll just say it. You compare yourself to others. You see other people live streaming. You're like, I can't be that good, and it fucks up your head. It really does. And I call it the YouTube mind fuck. And, I think it's not just YouTube though. I've always been a competitive type of person. I just have. It's just the way I've always been. If I feel like I'm good at something, then I try to give it 110%. I want to be the best at it that I can be, And if I feel like I'm not good at something, then I just leave it alone. I don't really mess with it, And I do take what I do on YouTube pretty seriously. And this isn't for me to be cocky or anything. This is just from experience. I have said this before, I'll say it to you guys. I say it privately to my wife. I said, there's few things that I'm great at. I feel like I'm good at this as far as like critiquing movies, and it's a very subjective thing, but just because I've done it for 9 years. Okay. That's what I mean. I feel there's few things I'm great at, but I finally feel at this point that I'm good at this, as far as like critiquing stuff. I'm comfortable in my own skin with that. I'm not good at this, or at least I don't think I am. The live stream thing, it fucks me up for some reason. But to your credit, though, you guys are never the problem. You guys are easy. It's me before I get to this is where I struggle, and I have, but once I start talking to you guys, then you guys make it easy. So I guess the reason I share this stuff is because maybe some of you can relate. Maybe some of you can relate, and you know what it is to to have anxiety and to be kind of fucked up. We're all fucked up. We're all fucked up. That's just what it is. And we gotta learn. That's it right there, Holly. We're all our worst critics. It's like that. It's like that old thing. You never remember the attaboys that people give you, but boy, do you remember the insults. The insults, they weigh so heavily on all of us. So, yeah, damn, I didn't want to get deep on you. But yeah. But I just I do want to be honest with you guys though, because it's like a release. So at least I can get it off my chest. So, I've gotten a few people say, "Hey, when's the next live stream? When are you going to live stream again? When are you going to live stream again?" And then you start feeling that expectation, right? Oh shit, I need to live stream again. So there's your answer. If I'm not live streaming, it's because I'm fucked up. Just like you. All right. We're all fucked up. But yeah, I guess that's where I'm going to end it, guys. Man, this was really not. I'm being dead honest with you guys, though. This was a fucking blast. That's the sad thing about it all. This whole thing, this last 2 hours was a blast. It was so fun, And I guess that's just what I got to hold on to, right? So, yeah, guys. Seriously though, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. And watching the videos and giving me great suggestions. And I always say this: I would be nothing without you guys. A lot of my content comes from your ideas. I don't take that for granted, right? I always take hell. Jack Powell, one of the guys on Killer Flicks, he had that freaking amazing idea of comparing trilogies. And I was like, shit, I got to do that. That sounds fun. And I did that. And of course, I love it when you guys give me ideas. You keep my juices flowing. Right. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, take care of each other. Okay. Be kind to each other. Be kind to your friends. And more importantly, be kind to your enemies. Right. So, yeah. Love you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight. I had a blast. And hey, guy, I want you to watch one of those movies that I suggested. Okay, will you guys do that for me? And I'll recap the ones that I remember. Hireling, Something Loud, Go, Last American Virgin. I think we mentioned that one. 3 O'Clock High. Okay, there's 5 of them for you right there. I want you to watch one of those movies. Okay, do that for me and let me know what you think. All right. I'm telling you, you will thank me. I promise you'll thank me. Okay. Love you guys. Take care.